everyone must take part in the jihad. Everyone must be a shaheed and to listen to the imam. That's what he's trying to say over here. That's how they indoctrinate in children to go to battle and to die and to fight against Israel. And that's a crime worse than human trafficking. To indoctrinate children in order to send them to die. That's what this sheikh from Hezbullah is doing. He's indoctrinating children.
ثقافة خدمة المجتمع والحضور في كل الميادين. لاحظوا معي كلمة الحضور في كل الميادين. الحضور في كل الميادين يعني الجهوزية الروحية والفكرية والإيمانية والأخلاقية ليحضر الإنسان في المكان حيث يجب أن يحضر فيه. يعني بيشوف بشخص مسؤوليته وتكليفه وين وبيتصدى. وما عنده أي مشكلة هذا التصدي وين يكون على المستوى الثقافي، واليوم هذا معترك كبير جدا جهاد التبيين، أو في الميدان الاجتماعي خدمة الناس، أو في الميدان العسكري القتال.
Over here he's saying that jihad has many levels. The civil society that gives charity, that's also part of the jihad. Without a charity organization, you cannot have jihad. They need money. If you give food for a terrorist, you serve them food, that's also part of the jihad. If you are a journalist that is covering Hezbollah and supporting the Mukawama, the resistance, that's also part of the jihad. But the biggest level of the jihad is to go and explode yourself or to die in a battle against the Jews or the West. That's what he's basically saying. So for all those naive people that are trying to say that those journalists that died, they are innocent people, no, they were part of the Mukawama, part of the resistance of Hezbollah, exactly like this sheikh is saying. Even ISIS needed journalists. Why they needed journalists? They needed those journalists to film and to send the whole world how that ISIS is beheading and cutting heads of people in order to put fear and to sell the propaganda of the organization. That's the same thing over here. You have the small jihad, like those the civil society, and you have the bigger jihad of those terrorists, which also encourage people to take part in indoctrinating children and sending them to battle. That's worse than human trafficking and all the biggest crimes against humanity. And that's the true face of Hezbollah that people are trying to hide. And how do I know that? I have also the picture over here, which I showed you. This little kid in the Madrasat al-Mahdi, a school, over here indoctrinating them. And over here, you can see over here is Sheikh from Hezbollah that also speech with them after he indoctrinated him. So that's basically the truth.
في سبيل الله ما عنده مشكلة. وين ما بيشوف ميدان يحتاج منه أن يتدخل فهو يحضر ويقدم كل إمكاناته. نحن بنعرف أنه التعبئة تعني تحشيد كل الإمكانات الجسدية والروحية والفكرية للعمل في سبيل الله وفي خدمة خلق الله. وبطبيعة الحال يلي بحشد هذه الإمكانات بصير يمتلك لياقة الحضور في أي ميدان يتطلب منه أن يكون حاضرا.
And he's saying over here, every request that the Imam asks you to do, you have to do it. Like if the Imam, like Hassan Nasrallah that died, Baruch Hashem, he died, okay? He's saying you to do, you have to do it because otherwise you don't do it. You're not doing the will of the Lord, so you have to serve him. Over here, this sheikh that we showed a moment ago, over here he's brainwashing children and he's asking them to join the jihad also. You can even see it from the translation. He's saying if you want to make Allah, to make God happy, you have to obligate to the sheikh, to the imam, because the imam serves the Lord. He had been sent by the Lord. Imam is the religious leader, and if he sends you to battle, if you want to serve the Lord and be a good Muslim, you have to listen to him. That's what he's basically saying over here too.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من أجمل ما يميز التعبويين
الذين هم جيش الله.
التبعوين, it means those who follow the iman. التبعوين, like تبع, to follow.
الله الأعظم أنهم يمتازون
To be part of the Lord's army. That's what he's speaking about.
بصفات عالية الكمال، أهمها الإخلاص لله تبارك وتعالى، فلا يريدون من عملهم سوى الحق تبارك وتعالى. عيونهم، قلوبهم، أنفسهم، أرواحهم كلها شاخصة لمرضاة الله جل وعلا، ولذلك هم لا يريدون ثناء ولا يريدون أجرا ولا ينتظرون من أحد أن يقول لهم بارك الله بكم على عملكم. لذلك هم جنود مجهولون.
He's saying they are soldiers, جنود. That's what he's saying over here.
في الأرض ولكنهم معلومون في السماء. من امتيازاتهم التضحية. من امتيازاتهم.
What is a تضحيات? It's not an innocent word. It means you need to sacrifice. You need to die to be a shahid. That's a تضحية. Like the name of the squares of Hezbullah is called al-dakhya. Well, what is dakhya from the word تضحيات? To give your life, to die. That's the meaning.
تحمل المسؤولية. يرون بأنهم مسؤولون. أوليس النبي صلى الله عليه وآله قال كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. نعم، هؤلاء عرفوا التكليف، ومن امتيازاتهم أيضا هذا الوعي والبصيرة وتشخيص التكليف الدقيق. ومن أهم هذه الامتيازات
and they're saying that they have to know that they have a duty. What duty? To serve the imam. To serve the religious leader that sends them to die in battle.
ليطيعوه ويعرفون الطريق
He's saying
ليسلكوه.
over here from translation. Know the leader so they may obey him. Look over here. Know the leader so they may be obey him. To obey the leader in order to die in battle. That's indoctrination of children. That's a crime against humanity. That's worse than human trafficking. I don't even know how to classify it. I haven't worked, okay, in a governmental organization that deals with those things. But that's a crime against humanity. Those people should be judged to a life sentence, at least in European Court of Law of the European of the United Nations.
ويعرفون الحق ليتبعوه ويعرفون العدو والباطل ليجتنبوه.
Okay, that's enough. It is bullshit. Because I'm saying bullshit because they are feeding those kids all this poison that they need to die. They need to obey the imam. They need to sacrifice their life. That's how a Shia kid goes in the villages of Lebanon. That's what he hears all day. You need to sacrifice your life against the Israeli enemy. Instead of going to school, instead of being a doctor, instead of going to university, instead of having a normal life. No, to be a shahid against Israel. That's why I'm saying that. That's the truth how they're indoctrinating children. That's the sin that they're doing day after day, and the world is sitting in silence after what they are doing to small children, indoctrinating them to hate and to make terror attacks when they will grow older. Thank you very much.